yeah, another no makeup YouTube moment. This is in response to James RNY's Back to Basics video today. Was there a moment where you, was there an incident, a moment in the context of being fat that made you decide to go ahead and have weight loss surgery? Having been overweight my whole life, I don't know, I remember when weight loss surgeries, when I first heard of them, I think it was in the 70s or 80s, and I think it was called stomach stapling, and so that's how I always thought of them, and it just seemed super drastic and not anything I needed to do, and my weight did go up and down over the years as I would try to kind of get control of my food. At one point, I was as high as 364, and I'm 53 years old right now. And no, it just always, when my doctors would occasionally bring it up, I would really put it off. And I think that part of the reason I didn't consider it is there's so much shame attached, certainly for me, to being big during my life. I don't know that it was kind of a self-punitive thought that I had, like, no, I can do this. I can have the, capital D discipline to get control of this. And it really kind of ignores the addictive nature of certainly what my problems are with food. So I put it off, and I think it was a little bit like, no, I've got to do this. I've got to bite the bullet and grin and bear it. And it was definitely a form of kind of punishment almost, to not allow myself the opportunity to have a really superpowered tool, which the sleeve is certainly for me. And even yesterday at Whole Foods, I tried something they had a free sample of that was, some health thing. There was another lady there, she was kind of big, and I made the comment like, well, I don't know about these are pretty good, but I've just lost over 100 pounds, and I'm not sure if I think I still want to lose some, and although these are good, I think I better wait till maintenance. And she said that she'd lost 100 pounds three or more times and always gained it back. And she asked, this is kind of typical lady conversation, asked what had I just done to lose over 100 pounds, and I told her I'd had the sleeve. And I really did, I could swear I saw a little sign like go across her face that was like, oh, like it was a little bit of that easy way out, and as we know, it's not. I would say that the first 6 months make it obviously a lot easier. I'm sorry, this is just feeling kind of heavy, this iPad. It is a lot easier the first many months, and even now 15 months out, I don't have any hunger, but this is where I think the real work is right now, when it's not as easy. But anyway, getting back to that moment, so I've had cancer twice, and the second time, this also follows being diagnosed with diabetes, and the second cancer was definitely something that could have been very much obesity related. It was an endometrial cancer, caught early, yay. And my oncologist, who by now I have a close relationship with, was very clear. Cancer loves fat. Cancer loves fat. And I just felt so cornered. Getting cancer once is never great, and my first one was a real major stage 4 type. I'm great now, but back then it was looking pretty scary. And then diabetes and these expensive injections, and then the second cancer, which, that really caught me off guard. And frankly, my mom and her 2 sisters had breast cancer in their 60s, and I'm not even there yet. I always thought that'd be the cancer I got. So I wasn't supposed to get those other ones. And my oncologist asked me if I considered having weight loss surgery. And I thought about it. And, you know, when I had that second cancer, boy, that was it. That was definitely the moment. Because I just thought, no matter what I do, what's really killing me here is the fat. So I called up my internist and I had him recommend, actually I had a couple people recommend a local doctor, Dr. Greg Josart in Marin, and I guess San Francisco too. And I called and I was determined to make it to jazzercise class. I ran around like an idiot. I got the papers sent over to me. I had like 10 minutes to get the papers emailed back over to the doctor so we could get the ball rolling and change clothes and make it to jazzercise. So I barely made it to jazzercise. You know, I was 295 pounds. Jazzercise was not easy at that point. And a woman came over to me from the class as I left early before the floor work because it was too hard to get up from the floor. So I'd always just do the cardio part. And she asked me if I had ever considered bariatric surgery. And I just looked at her because she didn't know that just an hour before, for the first time in the 20-something years that weight loss surgery's been out there, and I'd kind of, you know, very lightly thought of it, that I had finally done something, and I was sending papers in to the surgeon, and I just looked at her, and it turned out she had had a sleeve gastrectomy 2 years earlier, and she's quite fit. And I asked her who her surgeon was, and it was the same one that I was sending papers to, and I took that as a sign. And from then on out, it all happened very, very quickly. I was very fortunate with my insurance company. But yeah, that was the moment. It was, you know, was two things. It was the second cancer diagnosis and the Cancer Loves Fat proclamation, and the sign of having this woman just out of the blue come up to me and ask me about bariatric surgery. That is a tough question for someone who, you know, I knew her in passing. I don't think I even knew her name. Never had any kind of in-depth discussion, never had coffee with her, just kind of waved, saw her at class, said hello, that kind of thing. And it made me ask, you know, I've been asking myself more about bringing up, I mean, she brought it up to me out of the blue. I wasn't there. I had no idea that she'd been 100 pounds lighter. I'm really grateful to her for asking me about that. I don't think it was easy for her to do. You know, the thing about it is I guess I always hoped people didn't notice I was fat. I mean, silly, right? But when it's brought to your attention, so you're with a group of people, you go to a restaurant, you don't fit in a booth, you know, or the other circumstances where, you know, you are almost like brought on stage as the fat person because of whatever it is you can't do that everybody else can do that you're with. That's always a harsh moment. That is super harsh, and I just really wanted a skinny person disguise, and there was no disguising the weight. So I don't feel like I have to do it as much. You know, I'm even letting the freak flags fly. Like, I don't care. I go sleeveless. So anyway, I really enjoyed James' video, and he had asked for some responses, and yeah. It was definitely medical crisis and feeling super cornered. I'd already broken the chairs. I'd already done the booth to table shifts. I've done all those things we've done, but somehow that didn't move me. It took something like, you know, literally the sword of Damocles dangling over my head for me to take action. I wish the stigma of having weight loss surgery were not so pronounced, because if it were, maybe if we're all just real open about having this surgery, it will become less daunting to people. if they know that so many people do it, their next door neighbor, people who are barely over 200 pounds, for God's sakes, are having the surgery. I always thought, you had to be like, 50 BMI or higher. I didn't know what the limits were when I first started looking into this. But no, people who are, in my mind, small get it. And I just think that the more and more people who are open with it will make it easier for people who would truly benefit from the surgery to have it. And it will lessen the stigma. That's my hope anyway. Bye-bye.